Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev, Prabhus and Matajis, and all the wonderful kids who have joined us. Please accept my humble obeisances. All girls, Srila Prabhupada. We are very, very happy and blessed to welcome you all for the online Vyasa Puja of Srila Prabhupada, commemorating his 125th anniversary, as being organized by His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami. Right. So Srila Prabhupada, as many of us must have imagined, or maybe cannot imagine our life without his mercy. I mean, who at such an advanced age would be willing to leave Vrindavan Dham, to get on a cargo ship, to go and deliver the fallen soul, and basically to save all of us? It's not everyone who can do it, but Srila Prabhupada, he struggled and worked very hard to give us this beautiful society, to give us the holy name, to give us a holy dham, and above all, to give us a means by which we can acquire Krishna Prema, the love of Godhead, which is the higher aim of life, right? And today, for this session, all we wish to convey to him via our offerings, via our song, poems being organized, is just to show our deepest and heartfelt gratitude for him to have saved our soul. So thank you, Srila Prabhupada, right? So we shall be starting today's session, and I would like to invite Her Grace Yogini Devi Dasi for the language interpretation. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. And today we have some Portuguese and Brazilian devotees joining us. They will only be listening, so I will go through the language selection with them in Portuguese, please. All the speakers will be speaking in English today, so no need to go to any channels for the English language. We will go to Portuguese. Então, devotos, por favor, para aqueles que queiram ouvir em português, para aqueles que estão no desktop ou no laptop, no computador, por favor, clique nesse ícone do globo no canto inferior direito da tela. E aí vocês vão ver a seleção de línguas. Por favor, clique em português. E aí aperte em Done e vocês terão acesso à interpretação em português. Para aqueles de vocês que estão usando o celular, clique no ícone mais, aqueles 3 pontinhos que vocês vão ver na tela do Zoom. Depois clique em Language Interpretation, em interpretação de línguas, e por favor clique em português e depois Done. E aí vocês terão acesso à tradução simultânea em português. Muito obrigada, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Yogini. And now, dearest devotees, let us see what we have on our schedule today. To know that this is a second session out of 5 sessions which will be carried out. So we will be starting shortly by a talk by His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami, which is back to the basis, right? Followed by a musical instrument. We will have 2 offerings. The first one is The Day He Came, and the second one is the Mahamantra. And then our third activities will be an offering by the grand disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Right? And then Srila Prabhupada himself will be speaking to us on This is Intelligence. Right? And followed by offerings to be continued by the grand disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And then we will end this session by a beautiful talk by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, and the title is First Encounter with His Divine Grace. Thank you. not the least, we will have a quiz. Like you already know, we will be having 3 questions where devotees have to answer the question correctly. And those devotees who have been able to answer most of the quiz in most of the session, there will be a special mercy prize in form of a spiritual gift for all of you. Also, not to forget, in our chat box, you will see that there's a specific 𝐤𝐢𝐳 servant. So should you have any query, should you require any information, do you need any kind of assistance, do not hesitate to ask my servant, where the devotees will gladly get back to you for any query, right? So now we have reached the most awaiting part of the session, where we would like to invite Shri Gurudev, His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj to join us. For the next session will be spoken by him, which the title is Back to the Basics. So His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj over the years have been known for his humility, for his gravity, and for his deep knowledge in the scriptures. He is the first African sannyasi and Diksha Guru in ISKCON. Having grown up in a Roman Catholic family, and from a very, very young age, he has been very spiritually minded. He was always seeking for his spiritual path, and he tried to go through some different organizations, and somehow or the other, Krishna, with his sincerity, has led him to ISKCON so that we can all get this mercy, right? Presently, he's also teaching Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav in VIHE, that is Vrindavan Institute of Higher Education, and in Mayapur as well, facilitating numerous seminars on different aspects of Krishna consciousness philosophy. And the seminars topics are like community building, self-sufficiency, etc., etc. And to know that he is also the author of a very interesting and deep book, which is known as A Spiritual Connection, which is understanding the dynamics of guru and disciple relationship. And this is just an attempt to help to take devotees on a next level on their spiritual journey, right? The last but not the least, he is also going around the globe to preach in different countries non-tirelessly, without any restriction, in countries like Africa, Brazil, India, Mauritius, United States, and at the same time, we are discovering the new island of Seychelles, where he has already started some groundwork there as well, right? Thus, following the desire of his spiritual master, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, he is developing vibrant Krishna conscious self-sustainable farm communities in Ghana and Nigeria at the moment. So now we would like to request the devotees to please offer the garland to Shri Gurudev, to His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami. Hari Bol. Thank you. And now, thank you, Shri Gurudev, for having joined us. The virtual Vyasa and the screen are all yours, Gurudev. Thank you to start this today's session. Hare Krishna.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prasarane Nirvise Satyavadi 𝐁𝐡𝐚𝐬𝐬 Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurani Bhattacharya Vivishistasanyavade Asachari Sadhari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Saraswati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Saraswati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Saraswati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Saraswati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Saraswati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Stu Terasata Shishimadi Divine Grace ISKCON Founder Charya Jagat Guru Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Stu Terasata Shishimadi Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Glory so Shishi Panchatattva Ki Jai, Shishi Gauranitai Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Guru Parampara Ki Jai, ISKCON Guru Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, glorious assembled devotees, for glorious assembled devotees, for glorious assembled devotees, glory to Shishi Guru, Sri Gauranga, Namo Vishnu, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Bhakti Trita Shanti. Namaste Krishna Prabhupada Shri Gaura Karuna Sakti Bhakti Tirtha Janane Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prithai Bhutale Smati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Janane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaura Vani Pracharani Yeri Visesa Sangya Pali Pastacharya Satari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Chira Dvaita Adadara Sivasari Gaura Bhakti Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We want to welcome all the devotees for this wonderful celebration of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada's 125th anniversary, Vyasa Puja anniversary, 2021. So we're looking at back to the basis, because it is the nature of the human beings to become familiar with something which I've been doing for some time and try to neglect it. In Bhagavad Krishna calls it complacency. Complacency. And in Bhagavad Gita, according to Bhagavad Gita, complacency is a demon. So we avoid it. So we are decided to look at this as a way to help us go back to where we came from. Not to the material world, not going back to the material world, where we came from, our original home, Goloka Vrindavan, where we are present in the material world, how we have come to Krishna consciousness, how we started it, and how to continue. All right? So we have this offering from His Holiness Bhakti Swami for our digestion. In order to make an optimal advancement in spiritual life, it is important to make vows that assist us in focusing on our desired goal. Simultaneously, we should take life one day at a time and view each day as a fresh opportunity to renew our vows. Every now and then, it is immensely healthy. It is immensely healthy for devotees to rejoin. It is immensely healthy for devotees to rejoin the Hare Krishna movement. It is important for us to constantly remind ourselves why we joined the Hare Krishna movement. It's a very, very significant word here. For us to make optimal advancement in spiritual life, a practical exercise for us to do is what? That we should view each day as a fresh opportunity to renew our vows. I remember some years ago, Gurudev, he explains that every day we are having Guru Puja. Now we're having Guru Puja for Prabhupada, the grandfather, the universal Siksha Guru for all 𝐤𝐻𝐿 devotees, for all devotees. The primary reason why we do Guru Puja every day is what? To help us renew our vows. The vows we have taken. What's the vows? That this lifetime, of all the millions, innumerable lifetimes I have been running away from Krishna, that this lifetime, by the costless mercy of Guru and Krishna, I've decided that this life should be used in Krishna consciousness. So that vow we took by joining Hare Krishna movement, it has to be renewed every day. It should be made fresh every day. Because something which is fresh is never stale. It's not tiring. So there is a need for us to renew that vow and constantly refresh the opportunity to renew our vows. And this should be done every day. Why? It is an immense healthy consideration. It is a healthy consideration for every devotee to rejoin. It's healthy. Why? Because every one of us knows the first time we came to Hare Krishna movement, want to read all the books, want to chant the whole mantra, want to chant 64 rounds, want to keep the whole principles, want to do every services, want to have best association. This is the experience of every devotee that has joined this movement. From the beginning, we have this experience. But after some time, we don't seem to see it. And there are causes for that. The causes for why we don't seem to see this thing. One, we have become too familiar with the whole thing. Second, we have started making offenses. Therefore, it is very important for us to constantly make evaluation, to look into it very carefully, so we can constantly remind ourselves about why we join, how we join. It's very important. Next. In this way, which way? In this way, we're referring to the previous point, how we should constantly evaluate, look into how we join, and constantly renew our vows. In this way, we can maintain our convictions in spiritual life. When most of us decided to join the movement, we faced so many challenges, including those from many people who advised us not to become a Hare Krishna under any circumstances. We had one yesterday from His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj. One of his friends, whom they used to go to club together, said, "Why are you always leaving the real thing of going to clubs to try to take to spiritual thing, this guru, why are you wasting your time like this? Forget about this thing. Let's go to club." Which is the normal life for conditions. So Gurudev is saying it is very important for us to rejoin so we can pass through these challenges because we renew the strength. In spite of it all, however, we said yes to Krishna. Similarly, by rejoining the movement, we are directed to consider the different variables in our lives, why it is important to continue. If we do not strengthen our commitment, then inevitably there will be times when environmental and institutional issues will cause us to lose our equilibrium. We risk becoming demoralized and distracted by some of our immediate experiences, thereby forgetting why we have come and where we are going. If we don't constantly reevaluate, if you don't make a constant inventory, if we don't look at ourselves very carefully, if you don't rejoin, complacency will come inside and we'll forget why we have come here and where we are going. You will forget it because there are so many distractions. There are so many distractions, and there will always be some distractions for those who are not taking inventory. So it is necessary for us to rejoin. All right. Next. However, when we center our awareness on our reasons for becoming Krishna conscious, when we center our awareness on our reasons for becoming Krishna conscious, then we become rejuvenated and keep on at it. Remaining Krishna conscious is a science in the sense that it entails a constant revisiting of the philosophy in order to remind ourselves about our motivations and convictions. When we join this movement, we have seen so many other spiritual organizations. There were so many other spiritual organizations known to us, not to some extent, some to a greater extent, but of all of them, we selected, we choose to join the Hare Krishna movement. So we have reason for that, why we have selected this. In due course of time, because there are so many distractions and we are not independent, we are fully dependent on so many things, it is easy to forget the reason for becoming Krishna conscious. Then, when we look at the reasons and rejoin the movement, we become rejuvenated. And that will keep us on at it. That despite all the challenges, we will remain yes to Krishna, remaining Krishna conscious is a big science that we have to learn. It's a big science. In a sense that it entails a constant revisiting of the philosophy. Even though we have spoken the philosophy for some time, we can become also familiar with the philosophy and even lose the meaning. Lose the meaning or the philosophy, although we are speaking it, but we can do something contrary to this philosophy which we speak or represent. So rejoining the movement is essential. Means what? We don't have to go back to our karmic life. And then after that, we start coming back to the movement. Rejoining is in our consciousness. It's our consciousness. Looking back at where we were. Looking back at where we were, and where we are now, where we have to go, is a need to be reinforced by applying the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. All right?
Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Sharadev. Dearest devotees, there's a little surprise for you in between the session. So now we will request all the devotees to kindly get yourself a piece of paper and then a pen, because you will need it to write something. Okay, so our request is for you to write on the paper, to reflect on it. You have some time to reflect on it, to think deeply on it. And the question is, why did you join 𝐸SCON for the first time ever in our life? Why did we join 𝐸SCON? So dearest devotees, you can just write down your thoughts, your reasons on a piece of paper. It is just some reflection time. And we will get back. Thank you.
How many minutes do we have for here?
Around 2 minutes, Sharadev.
All right. Why did you join 𝐸SCON? Even most of us didn't have it easy joining 𝐸SCON. But why did you join? There's so many reasons for us to join this. So to do something, so many reasons why we are doing something. It's always a reason for doing something which you are doing. There's a reason. Why did you join? It looked like a simple question, but I'm telling you, it is not a simple question. It's very, very deep to help us to think, even if we have not thought of it before, to help us to think. Why did you join 𝐸SCON? Is it because then you don't have anything else to do? So there's some reasons. So we want to know, about it. Why did you join 𝐸SCON? Even when your parents are not happy, or your friends are not happy, or the mind also doesn't agree with all the philosophies. All right.
Krishna, our time is up for our first question, and now we have our second question, which is in the form of a multiple choice. Shortly, a poll will appear on the screen where you can choose 1, 2, or make as many answers as you want, because this is a multi-answer question, right? So the question is, what are the reasons I should rejoin 𝐸SCON? First, to become a pure devotee of Krishna. Second, to become a good disciple of my spiritual master. Third, to become sincere and faithful representative of the group parampara, I think. And or to go back to Godhead, to experience eternal everlasting happiness, to solve all my problems for once and all, to render sincere and conditional service. So kindly click on the correct answer. You will have a poll for a few seconds. And you can see that it's filling up. That's great.
You can choose many answers as you like. Anyone please, which is more applicable to you, not only one.
So for the first answer, to become a pure devotee of Krishna, we have 40% of devotees have answered this one. To become a good disciple of my spiritual master, we have 64% of devotees who have answered this. To become a sincere and faithful representative, we have 60% of the devotees present who have answered. To go back home, back to Godhead, 44%. To experience eternal lasting happiness, etc. 48% devotees have answered. To solve all my problems for once and all, this is 24%, the least percentage that we have got so far. And to render sincere and conditional service, 60% of the devotees have opted for that question. And now, thank you so much. We shall be moving to our last question of the day. And now this will be an interactive session where we will invite devotees to kindly raise your virtual hand, and you will be called upon to give your answer to the question on the slide now. And the question is, what are the basic devotional practices that Srila Prabhupada gave us? So I repeat the question. What are the basic devotional practices that Srila Prabhupada gave us? We invite devotees to kindly raise up your virtual hand, and we will invite you to tell your answer. So the first one is Haridila Dasi Mataji. Kindly.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
If you can just give me 1 second, we will jot down your answer in 2 seconds.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Dhanvat Pranam. Dhanvat Pranam to everybody. Dhanvat Pranam Guru. So the basic principles: chant 16 rounds and follow the 4 regulative principles. These are the basic.
Thank you so much, Harila Mataji. And anyone else? There was someone, Mukherjee Prabhu, you can tell us your answer.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please sit my humble obeisances unto the dust of your lotus feet. One more basic principle that Prabhupada mentioned, that everyone should preach and distribute books if they want to please me in the best possible way.
Thank you so much, Mukherjee Prabhu. Yes, devotees, we are waiting for you. Please raise your virtual hand. Who would like to answer? Yes, Achal Das Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. But another principle is that we should, after we chant the 16 rounds, follow the four regulative principles. We should do
You're connected here. Okay. You're connected. You're still connected.
they're not hearing me.
I couldn't hear you, Achal Prabhu.
You're connected.
We can hear you now. I mean, you're connected now.
But you're muted.
Hare Krishna.
Request you to mute from your mobile. We are able to hear you from Gurudev's device. You can contribute. We are able to hear you.
We should try to share in the doctor of instructions. Srila Goswami have given in the test 4 the 6 symptoms of love one devotee should share from one another: offering gift to charity, accepting charitable gifts, and the revealing one man's in confidence. So Prabhupada have stressed in this point that this movement started single-handedly, because this movement is dealing on the practice of give and take. So people are voluntarily donating. So we should keep it on. To maintain this movement, we should have to maintain this 6 principle of giving: offering gift to charity, accepting charitable gift, revealing one man's in confidence. How can we do that? When an experienced devotee will come, and inexperienced devotee will sit down, and experienced devotee will impart knowledge that we have known. And sometimes to accept prasada and do prasada, we have to invite some devotees in our house, so we can share. In that way, this symptoms of love will be alive. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Achal Prabhu. And now we will, before last participant, we will take the Ratnagi Radha Dasi Mataji. Kindly share your answer with us, please.
Hare Krishna to all. Yeah, my answer is for this question. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that we all should try to attend morning program in ISKCON temple, which consists of Mangala Aarti, Japa in devotee association, Darshan Aarti, like a Guru Parampara, Guru Puja, and after that, listening Srimad Bhagavatam in devotee association with from a pure devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. And our last participant for this session is Adityaji Joshi Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Okay, I think he's gone. Okay, no worry. Aditya Joshi Prabhu would like to share your answer.
Same person.
Yeah. If not, we request you, Gurudev, to please continue with today's session.
Beginning from here.
Yes, Shagdev, first in ISKCON initiation.
Hope all of you enjoy the quiz, which is very, very helpful. So back to the basis is our theme for discussions. The first initiation is the Prabhupada conducted was in September 9, 1966. It was a turning point in Vaishnava's life. What is the next slide? No one was asked to shave his head or even cut his hair or change his dress. No one offered Prabhupada the traditional Guru Dakshina, the donation a disciple is supposed to offer as a gesture of his great obligation to his master. Hardly anyone even relieved him of his chores. So Swamiji himself had to do most of the cooking and other preparations for the initiation. He was perfectly aware of the mentality of his boys, and he didn't try to force anything on anyone. Some of the initiated didn't know until after the initiation, when they had inquired that the 4 rules: no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, and no gambling were mandatory for all disciples. Prabhupada's reply was, I'm very glad that you are finally asking me that. I'm very glad that you are finally asking me that. There is, this is a mundane thing, but it's very practical, very, very practical. And it has a message that goes with this. The best way to treat a lunatic, if an insane person is being treated, a mad person is being treated, there is a way to detect how he is making progress. Usually his food is not prepared with salt. There's no food in it. I don't know if they are doing these days. But those days, the traditional healers, when they're treating a mad person, they don't put salt in the food. So they'll keep giving the treatment until the day he will ask. So there is no salt in this food. Then the doctor will understand that, yes, the patient is making advancement when he will ask that there is no salt in the food. In the same way, Prabhupada has responded here. That he has been taking all the risks in dealing with preparing his future disciples. He was preparing them who have no knowledge about what is a spiritual master, what the relationship a disciple should have with a spiritual master, what is the duty of a disciple, and also taking to Christian consciousness. What are the things we should do or shouldn't know? Srila Prabhupada did not emphasize it in the beginning. He was simply giving the philosophy. And the philosophy was working. He was giving the philosophy and giving the prasada. The philosophy was working, the prasada was working. That eventually the devotee have to ask, what are we supposed to do after initiation? And Prabhupada responded, now I'm very happy that you're asking me. Just like a mad person is asking for salt in the food. He has not been asking for salt since. But because he's making progress, now he's asking for salt. I mean, the devotees were making progress. Now they're asking, and Prabhupada will now give the devotees what is required, keeping the four regulative principles. And that shocked the devotees. They started wondering, are we supposed to do this for life? Yes, it's for eternity. Taking initiation means that you have to avoid all this in eternity. Next. The merciless gift initiations marked a turning point in Vaishnava history. By traditional Hindu standards, Americans and Europeans were militias, so savages who eat meat, drank alcohol, took drugs, and had sex outside marriage. These are religion. It's a normal thing. Normal thing that should be done every day. Such outcasts did not qualify for Diksha, the initiation ceremony that opened the door to liberation. Custom held they would have to wait until they were reborn in higher caste families. The Swami waved these objections aside. Krishna consciousness had nothing to do with the Hindu customs or caste qualification, he said. All living beings are sparks of God, parts and parcels of Krishna. He cited chapter verse to prove that from the Vedic point of view, anyone who sincerely chanted Krishna's names was eligible for initiation. Originally, Krishna himself established the Varnashram system. Originally, Varnashram system. We know that, as we were saying in the beginning, that everything in Kali Yuga, everything especially in Kali Yuga, when it starts in the beginning, does not always progress the same way. Neither does it end the same way. So there's always a change. Similarly, although Krishna introduced Varnashram system, in due course of time, by the progress of Kali Yuga, the Varnashram system became adulterated, became polluted. And today it is known as caste system. The caste system today is adulterated Varnashram, from spiritual to material. Therefore, this custom is there. Militias. And if you look very carefully, you see that Srila Prabhupada's point is very perfect. Apart from being authentic, that is scriptural, and is followed by sincere, pure devotees, you will also see that if you look very carefully to the system today, it is not only those who are born outside India that are eating meat, this is taking drugs and alcohol. It is not. This activity is being done all over the world now. So where are the militias? It is not a particular country that is designated militias, as it seems to be like that. If you look at it carefully, crossing the ocean means militias. And if you look at history also very carefully, you will see that when Lord Parasurama was killing all the demons who were acting as Satriyas, some of them ran out of India to places. And today, all the countries outside India are these varieties of Kiratas and Pulindas and the Kasas and Abiras and all militias and Yavanas and others. But if you look very carefully today, you'll see that everywhere in the world today, you will see a different class of militias and Yavanas and Kiratas and Pulindas and all you see everywhere in the world. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada is correct that whoever chants Hare Krishna would transcend the moods, would transcend all the dualities, and come to a pure state of Christian consciousness, which is the nature of the soul. The soul is never material. The soul is always spiritual. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada introduced the chanting of the holy name of Krishna, Krishna consciousness outside India, and he took it the whole world. And the result is what we see today. The result is what we see today. That he started it from zero and make it something wonderful. All right? To take their initiation seriously, disciples needed to know what was expected of them. They were now representatives of Chaitanya Vaishnavaism, and their behavior had to be above reproach. Yes, we're not looking at militaries now. We're not looking at Polinas or whatever. We're not looking at that now. What we're looking at now is that the pure devotee of Lord Krishna has elevated the fortunate souls to come to a higher level of representing the Supreme Personality of God, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has come to preach this sublime method of worshiping Krishna, especially in Kali Yuga, the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. So our behavior has to be different now. That's a miracle. That's a miracle that the Prabhupada performed. So, if you look at how Srila Prabhupada started everything, and we're looking at the quiz, the basic principle Prabhupada gave to us is what? We should chant Hare Krishna mantra. So chant Hare Krishna mantra. So follow the relative principle. You take initiation now, the commitment, you have to chant the minimum of 60 Hare Krishna mantra. And for us to be able to do that nicely, to have the strength to do it and attain perfection, certain rules and regulations have to be kept. 4 rules that they have to be properly kept. And to facilitate that, to help create that environment, devotional environment is there, temple is there. And a temple means what? The devotees of Krishna, the people of the same mindset, people of the same character, people of the same nature have to associate to be able to become successful or to be encouraged in what we do. So Prabhupada established a temple and provided a facility for all of us to become a pure representative for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And people can see certain class of people and know, yes, these people are different. Next. The Swami took out a sheet of paper and wrote a list of rules in precise script. All initiated devotees must attend morning and evening classes compulsorily. All initiated devotees must attend morning and evening classes. To attend morning classes comes before the classes is the Mangalarati. Mangal Arati, auspicious beginning of the day, auspicious activity to begin the auspicious day. Before the classes come, it is compulsory, and evening classes also there. Sandhya Arati is compulsory before the class. Compulsory. Especially for those who accepted initiation. All initiated devotees, it is compulsory that they must be addicted to, must not be addicted to any kind of intoxicants, any kind, or varieties of intoxicants, both soft and hard. soft intoxicants are there, and hard ones are there. All of them. So varieties of intoxicants, all kinds of intoxicants, including tea, coffee. These are soft ones, and cigarettes. Then you can go above that to marijuana and other things. Those are hard ones. LSD and others. So they are forbidden to have illicit sex connections. No illicit. It is not written here, no sex. But it's written here, no illicit sex connections. It is forbidden. And we must be strictly vegetarian. We must strictly vegetarian. Strictly vegetarian means that the food is offered to Krishna first. There's so many food which doesn't contain meat, fish, or eggs. We should not take them. But like bread, it doesn't contain meat. Right? So you cannot say that, yeah, this is prasadam. No. It must be offered to Krishna first. This is a very powerful thing Srila Prabhupada did here. If you want to take an addict away from the addiction, it cannot be done just by philosophy. Philosophy alone will not solve the problem. Practical environment has to be created. And practical measures, medicine has to be also given appropriately. This is what Prabhupada has done here. Next. Should not extensively mix with non-devotees. Should not extensively mix with non-devotees. Should not eat foodstuffs cooked by non-devotees. Should not waste time in idle talks, nor engage in frivolous sports. Should always chant and sing the Lord's holy name, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or comments?
Prabhu has a question.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Dandot Pranam. Very nice program, Maharaj. Very nice event. We're learning a lot. Thank you very much.
Yes, we are in school, so we should learn.
Yeah, I understand. You're not carrying the stick.
No, I have the stick. I have the stick with me.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice. So I need to see you for that.
No, my stick is my tongue. I will whip you with. That's my stick.
Very nice. Very nice, Maharaj. I think, Maharaj, this particular topic, back to the basic, is very, very important for me and for everyone. And I think I need to revisit my practice again. Being the practicing devotee, my question is like today we are into the full Krishna consciousness, and we are learning a lot of things. But the consistency is not there. How to maintain that consistency? That is what I want to learn. Throughout, because it's going up, and consistency, how do I do that? Please help me.
Thank you very much for your nice question. Thank you. Consistency. How do we become consistent in what we do? It requires association with those who are already consistent in doing that. And that's the reason why we have a temple. Anyone can chant Hare Krishna anywhere. You don't need you don't need a house. You don't need anything. There's so many trees all over the world. There's so many caves everywhere. They are streets everywhere. One can chant Hare Krishna anywhere, anytime. But to be able to do that, we cannot become successful in Krishna consciousness alone. We cannot. No one can become successful alone. Neither can one read books alone and become a pure devotee. It's not possible. We need the devotees. And we have been quoting Srila Bhakti Thakur. My dear brothers, my dear sisters, where will you find your fortune? We will find our fortune only with devotees. Devotees. So we have been using one particular word, complacency. I started our discussion from the word complacency. We are becoming complacent. We know from those of us who started our Krishna living example. We know that it was compulsory for every devotee to attend morning and Mangalarti, as Prabhupada mentioned. It was compulsory. We look at many temples today, ISKCON temple today, look at many ISKCON temples today, no regular Bhagavad Gita class in evening. Many. So we have deviated. We have changed the purpose movement. So we should not be surprised what is happening because we have changed. So things have changed. See, change. It change means we have left a particular direction. That's what it means. Just like we changed by giving up materialistic association to follow devotional association. So we have along the way we're also deviating from devotional association to follow materialistic association in many ways, in many names. Oh, I'm working. Oh, I'm a student. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I'm that. Yes, all those things are there. But Srila Prabhupada mentioned many times, but at least I can give you two. Let me just give you two. Bhagavad Gita 9:27 purports. 1865 purports. Prabhupada mentioned, we should mold our life in such a way that we remain 24 hours Krishna conscious. He didn't say Guru mold your life to be 24, or Krishna mold your life to be 24 hours Krishna conscious. We should mold our life in Krishna consciousness to remain 24 hours Krishna conscious. That is our responsibility. And that requires our going back to the basics to see where we have deviated, where we have left off. In the name of devotee, in the name of preaching, all in the name of preaching, not in the name of association with different karmis. In the name of preaching, we have deviated. Some temples, even no Bhagavatam class in the morning. In some temples, ISKCON temple, I'm not talking about that. ISKCON temples, some. So we have changed the Prabhupada movement. And because we have changed, the things are about to change. The message which was following us have changed also. Therefore, let us rejoin the Hare Krishna movement. As share with devotees, consistency will be. Because we have been, Srila Prabhupada placed us on what? On the mode of goodness. Waking up early in the morning for Mangalarati, Mangal. What is that? It's auspicious. That's goodness. The Bhagavatam is goodness. Bhagavad Gita is goodness. Prasadam is goodness. The deity worship is goodness. The Hare Krishna Mantra is goodness. Everything is goodness. The environment is goodness. So if you leave the goodness and start cultivating other passion and ignorance, we have changed. We have changed. So there wouldn't be any consistency in that way. So if you want to be consistent, keep to the process, the principle that Prabhupada has given to us. By chanting Sisira regularly, no compromise. Chanting Sisira regularly is consistency. Hearing regularly is consistency. Associating is consistency. It will build like that and take us back home, back to God. Next.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you so much, Swami Hari Prabhu, for this universal question. And then the next one on the list is Mukul Prabhu. Please kindly unmute yourself to ask your question. Where are you? Okay, Haribol, please unmute yourself. It's Mukul Prabhu.
Respected Maharaj, Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Maharaj, can you please share your realization of your first meeting with Srila Param Gurudev? And Maharaj, how it's possible that I have seen many videos of Srila Param Gurudev, and in daily, Maharaj used to dance 4 to 5 hours in the daily morning program and in kilometers in the Sankirtan movement. I'm really very curious. I have seen many videos. Maharaj, how it's possible?
It is possible because it is spiritual energy, not material energy. So it is possible. Those who have spiritual energy, you see it happen like that. At the material level, it is not possible. On the spiritual level, it is possible. With the spiritual energy is there. The soul is never dull. Dullness or tiredness is the body, material. So those who are on the spiritual platform, you can have 5 hours kirtan non-stop, dancing. Yes. So when we first met the Gurudev, that is what we saw him, kirtan, dancing, kirtan, big smile, sweet face, sweet heart. This is what we met. And we saw him like that till he left this material world. All right, Hare Krishna.
Krishna, thank you, Prabhu. Our next question is from Rajni Bhatia Mataji from the chat box. She has asked, how can we keep distance practically from non-devotees if they are our relative or friends?
If we are living with relatives who are not Krishna conscious, if we are living with family members who are not Krishna conscious, how do we keep away from family members who are not Krishna conscious and they're not appreciative of our Krishna consciousness, but they are against? How do we keep away from them? First of all, we don't discuss Krishna consciousness with them. Shouldn't discuss Krishna consciousness with them because that will make them to be offensive. It's practical. Don't discuss Krishna consciousness. Secondly, anything which does not need our being together in the same room or the same discussion, anything that does not need our being together, we shouldn't be together with them physically. We can be in our own place, in our own room, not in the same room with them to discuss unnecessary things that have nothing to do with our progress in Christian consciousness. So because we are living there, we cannot 100% avoid them physically, but we can avoid them by keeping a psychological space. Psychological space means that within ourselves, inside, externally we may be together with them physically, but inside we shouldn't be together. We shouldn't be together inside. That means you don't listen to what they do. You don't respond to what they do. We think our Krishna in our heart, plan our Krishna in our heart, do what is necessary in our heart. That is psychological space. It is necessary. And wherever necessary for us to avoid them, we should avoid. So that is what I can suggest as a practical step to help. if you are going to sit with them all through and engage in nonsense discussion, his material will be affected. So you can avoid being with them. Yeah, many things we can do to be away from them. Next.
Thank you, Gurudev. And now we invite Jayati Mataji to please ask your question. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Please, my obeisances to all the devotees present. Thank you for the class, Maharaj. I just wanted to confirm about the points on complacency that you mentioned. You said that you have to chant the 16 rounds, you have to hear regularly. And the third thing you said was associate with devotees in the temple. Like my question is, what happens when the devotee association itself becomes toxic? How does that, like, how do we deal with that? And basically, how do we like put that instruction into place?
If devotees association becomes a toxic, then that means that they are not devotees. They are not devotees. So we should not mistake them to be devotees. If you mistake a non-devotee to be a devotee, there's a problem. Like Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada in his 64 principles for community, he mentioned this point. If you mistake a non-devotee as a devotee, it's our problem. It's our fault.
Okay.
So I'm associating with a person I consider to be a devotee. He's not chanting. He's engaging in modern discussion. So how should I say this person is a devotee and associate with the person? Whatever comes from the person, it has nothing to do with Krishna consciousness. So how should I consider the person to be a devotee? I will consider somebody to be a devotee when our discussion should be Krishna. Materially speaking, when you meet a lawyer, what would they discuss? Have you ever seen a lawyer talking about something apart from law? If you meet a business person, will you see a business person talk about Krishna? They talk about business. That is what they are. Similarly, a devotee is a person whenever we meet a person, we are going to talk about Krishna. Is a devotee. Even if we are students or our own business, but when we meet as devotee, we talk about our business in connection with Krishna. We talk about our school in connection with Krishna. That's how we know a devotee. It's a devotee. I have never seen this one lawyer. I always appreciate him. The moment you see him, he will change a topic into law. So I used to say, suppose I'm Krishna conscious like this person. This I learned from this person. I wish I'm Krishna conscious like this person. Anything about me should be just Krishna conscious. This is how you know a devotee or a non-devotee. We don't have to go and start looking at. See devotee? No, just see our activity will show us exactly. You want to talk about Krishna. You're going to talk about Krishna. And you will talk about Krishna. You're going to encourage about japa, chanting. You're going to ask you, dear brother, dear sister, how many rounds you have chanted today? Can you share with me the book you read today? Which book are you reading at the moment? That will come naturally. It will come naturally. If I mean somebody is going to talk only about the painful thing that I'm going to do with Krishna, naturally I will say, oh, this is not my mate. And if we feel comfortable in that association, means that Krishna is showing us that we are also not devotees. If you can appreciate Karaminis, we are Karaminis. In the gap of Vaishnava. We're not saying we should hate a non-devotee. That's not what we're saying. If you appreciate sinful life, then what is that? We are sinful. So let us go back to the basis. You should go back to the basis. How we understand Krishna consciousness that made us to join. How did you understand it? That is something that have to do with my life that makes us to join. I have to go back to that. It's very, very important. Rupa Goswami told us that even if you have Mahabhagavad, we should practice our Krishna consciousness exact way as in your fight. And we so many of our children are doing that. Mukulji asked me before, when he saw this Bhattacharya Maharaj was leaving the body, he was still chanting Sisina. Even when he saw Radha Maharaj asked him, hey Maharaj, you have chanted. Look at the situation. Look at the situation. We have chanted now. He tried to be association. He said, no, I promise Prabhupada 16. I must chant it. So devotee. This is consistency. The one will chant till the last breath, by Prabhupada himself, till the last breath. All right?
Thank you, Jayati, for this wonderful question. And now we will take a last question from one of our YouTube viewers, Aditya Singh Prabhu. And his question is, Srila Gurudev, how can we understand we are giving unnecessary time thinking to be necessary for working person? And when in association of devotee, prajalpa can be minimized and thinking of more spiritual talks.
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yes, Gurudev, I repeat the question. For a working person, how can we understand, for a working person, how can we understand that we are giving time for unnecessary things, thinking it as being necessary? And when in association of devotees, can prajalpa be reduced, minimized?
If you want to minimize prajalpa, then we should talk about Krishna only. If you want to minimize prajalpa, you don't want to involve in prajalpa, we should talk all about Krishna. And hear something about Krishna, or read something about Krishna. Automatically, prajalpa will not be there. It's gone. For a working person who were working with the people who are not devotees. So naturally, they are not going to speak about Krishna. But we should build our own Krishna consciousness, proper say, mode of our life in such a way that we remain Krishna conscious 24 hours. In that association, we have to do that. How do we do that? By how we practice our sadhana every day. You have chanted, yes, before going out. We have prepare our prasadam from the house before going out. While we're going to the office, we are not driving, even if we are driving here, we lecture. Everything is available now on the phone. We hear. When we are there in office, we do our duty. We want to do our duty. When we don't have anything to do with those people, we move away to the place where we can have our chance to think of Krishna, to read something about Krishna, to hear something about Krishna, or to see devotees. But in office where we don't have devotees there, so we work there, we do our work. And before then, we have chanted, we have heard, we have taken our sadhana methods. So while we're there, we do as soon as we finish, we give up that, and then back to our Krishna consciousness, This is how we can avoid unnecessary association, even though we have to work. Will not be contaminated because we have already taken the vaccine. Not corona vaccine. This is Krishna conscious vaccine. That will make us immunized. I will not be affected by unnecessary things around us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Krishna. Thank you so much, Shagrudev, for this wonderful, inspiring lecture. You have made us go back into our early days in ISKCON, where we knew we had every joyful reason to be in ISKCON. And definitely with time, when the struggle comes, when the tough time comes, it's good that we just go back and reflect on those days and the reason why we have actually joined our ISKCON movement, our ISKCON society. And like it is said, sometimes it's good to go back, to step a bit back so that we can jump higher and just for us to know where we stand in our devotional life. Thank you so much for always being an inspiration and motivation for us. Thank you, Sharagudev. And now we will be, dearest devotees, we will be moving to the next part of our program, where now we will be having two video presentations. The first one will be by His Grace Matsya Prabhu, and the next one will be by Her Grace Gopikanta Mataji. So stay tuned, stay connected. Shortly, we will start with our video presentation. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Once there was a boy who had everything, but deep down he knew something was missing. He strived so hard to enjoy, he played all the sports, he learned all the arts, but he was suffering. Then one day you came and gave all that he asked for. Then one day you came and gave all that he wanted. Your spiritual strength and the words of a saint, an unbreakable faith on the Lord. These names that you chant, overflowing with love, pierce through his heart and his soul. You are a poet, an artist, a dancer, a well-wisher and one's best friend. Giver of knowledge, savior of the fallen, the light bringer who carries the truth. His divine grace, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. His divine grace, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. You changed the boy's life, you changed the world, you changed the life of us all. You inspire us to love, to serve, to give, to surrender to the Supreme Lord. His divine grace, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. Swami Prabhupada. Then one day you came and made our lives so much better.
Hare Krishna.
Querida Srila Prabhupada, aceite nossas respeitosas reverências. Somos infinitamente gratos por seu olhar equânime. Graças a eles, estamos fazendo parte dessa família mundial em consciência de Krishna. O Senhor nos deu o presente precioso do Yuga Dharma, ou cantar dos santos nomes. Como poderemos retribuir tal dádiva? Por meio de sua determinação ao seu Gurudeva e por sua compaixão às almas condicionadas, temos suas traduções e comentários dos Shastras, tendo ali sua associação direta. Vivenciamos toda a sua presença, pureza e energia transcendental. Por favor, nos ocupe sempre em seu serviço. Nosso amor é seu. Srila Prabhupada aqui. Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Matsya Prabhu and Gopikanta Mataji for this wonderful video frame. And our next speaker of the day is Her Grace 𝐶𝐤𝐬𝐬 Mataji. Mataji is a disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and he has been rendering service unto His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj for the last decade. And it is said that the success of a parent is determined as how the children grow up somehow or the other. And Mataji is very blessed to have two initiated daughters, Vrajapriya Shamsundari and Krishna Mohini Gaurangi, who are both nicely engaged in devotional service. And Mataji is very determined. And we are very happy to have you with us today, Mataji. And the screen is all yours to read your frame. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Namisharana Mataji, for inviting me. Thank you so much. My humble obeisances to all the devotees gathered here. Vancha kalputarubhascha kripa sindhu bhaivacha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. My most respectful obeisances to His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj, organizer of this event. We are really grateful and thankful to you, Maharaj, for giving us the opportunity to pay our homage to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Iti Namine Prabhupada se Sahitya me Prakashe Vitirecha Pracharam Kitvan Sadhu Bhagavad Padaya Te Namah. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to the saffron dust adorning your lotus feet. Om Agyan Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasme Shri Guruve Namaha. You have forced open our eyes with the power of your compassion. You annihilated the dark ignorance, blinding our eyes with the radiant torchlight of Vedic knowledge. We offer our respectful and grateful obeisances to you again and again. You, the direct representative of Srila Vyasa, has given us everything necessary to achieve the perfection of life. As the lotus rises above the water, blooming beauty unscathed by the murky depths, you travel this world to lovingly remind us of what we have forgotten. Out of humility, you boldly preach Krishna's glories with great strength and vigor. You saw us suffering in the throes of the three modes of nature. We thought we could make some nice arrangements for our happiness, and so we struggled hard, but we simply became further entangled in the ropes of Maya. You felt compassion for us, and taking your Guru Maharaj's order as your very life and soul, went to the west to preach. Like King Malyadhwaj, you stood as firm as Malya Hill and made others similarly as firm through your Krishna consciousness preaching. And through your books, your ISKCON society, and your sincere followers, your transcendental preaching goes on and expands today. You are teaching us how to achieve the highest perfection of life, how to conquer the kingdom of God. Vaikuntha, a devotee by strong devotional service and sincere attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, can easily conquer Krishna, who is called Ajita, meaning that no one can conquer him. As you point out in the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna is fear personified for everyone, but he voluntarily agreed to fear this trick of Mother Yashoda. Krishna is only understood through pure loving devotion. You show us how exalted are devotees of Krishna. Let others fearing material existence worship the Vedas, the Vedic supplementary Puranas and Mahabharata, but I shall worship Nanda Maharaj, in whose courtyard the Supreme Brahman is crawling. You are showing us how to actually live rather than being a dead body, flapping only a few days, wasting all the energy of human life in decoration of this dead body. Life shows how attachment to Guru is the best and easiest means to achieve this. You gave us Guru Puja not just once a year, but every single day. You emphasize how we must become fixed. We must have the resolute purpose and one aim of pleasing our spiritual master. Therefore, I should always remember and praise the spiritual master at least 3 times a day. By your mercy, everything is possible and perfection is achieved. Your money lives forever in your books. We can remember and praise you through sincerely studying and distributing these books, which you so painstakingly wrote for our upliftment. May we always be fixed at your lotus feet. Thank you so much. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Saki Jivani Mataji, for this beautiful and heart-touching offering. And now, dearest devotees, we will proceed with our next speaker, but simple offering will be in Portuguese. We humbly request you all to please go on the language interpretation, which is, if you're on laptop, it is just a globe and you click on it and then you go on the English channel. And if you're on mobile, you just click on the 3 dots and you go on interpretation and you shift to English channel, right? Because the next offering will be read by Her Grace Paritoshani Chitra Devi Dasi Mataji. Mataji is here, and Mataji is a devotee since 2005, and she met Gurudev in Brazil in 2008 and 9. Now she's living at Mayapur, and currently she cooks for the Gurukul girls and also does seva for His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Samadhi, right? And okay, she has a, okay, sorry Mataji. So we would like to invite Paritoshani Mataji, and the screen is all yours, Mataji, to read your offering. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Vou tentar fazer minha simples oferenda para Srila Prabhupada. Querido Srila Prabhupada, por favor, aceite minhas humildes e respeitosas reverências. Todas as glórias são para ti. Querido Srila Prabhupada, olhamos para uma foto tua. Você caminha, em sua mão uma bengala. Olhamos atentamente, meditamos, oramos, servimos. Você tem sido a bengala de tantos, tem sido o apoio incondicional de tantos. Com suas palavras, com seus livros, com seus ensinamentos, e o que pediste em troca? Distribuem meus livros, levem a consciência de Krishna para todos. Não quero nada para mim, quero que ouçam, cante, lembre e dance os santos nomes do Senhor. Refletimos, olhamos profundamente e entendemos, não apenas com a razão, mas também com o coração, o verdadeiro significado do mestre espiritual. Somos e seremos sempre gratos por todas as lições ensinadas. Todas as glórias a ti, querido Srila Prabhupada, de sua serva, Paritoshani Titra Devidasi e família.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for this. Thank you so much, Mataji, for this beautiful offering. And to know that Mataji stays in Mayapur with her two daughters, Nadia Thakurani and also Nanda Nandini, and who are both very much attached to devotional service. So we are very happy to have you with us today, Paritoshani Mataji. Thank you. Dearest devotees, so we have reached the time to spice up the session a bit more, and it is a quiz time. We request all the devotees to please get ready, get set. We are about to launch the poll for the quiz. We will have two questions, which will be visual question. You just see the picture and then you have to guess and go through the memory lane again to see where those pictures have been taken. And out of the 4 or 5 answers, you have to choose the correct answer, right? So we will start the quiz with question 1. And here is a picture. And the question is, what occasion was this picture taken and where was it? Okay, just watch it closely. Srila Prabhupada in dancing, standing on the chariot dancing. So where was it, right? So first option, Gaur Purnima Festival, Sankirtan. Sorry. California, USA, Rath Yatra, San Francisco, Rath Yatra, Jagannath Puri, or Janmashtami, West Virginia. To note that for our YouTube viewers and Facebook viewers, you can also type the answer in the comment box and we will definitely take it into consideration. And the correct answer is Rath Yatra, San Francisco, USA, where we have 83% devotees have answered the correct answer. Now we shall be moving to the next question, the second question of the day. All right. So before accepting him for initiation, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has marked Abhay Charan Day as, and for you to complete the sentence, just see the picture properly. So before initiation, before accepting him for initiation, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had marked Abhay Charan Day as one who will like to preach, a big donor, one who likes to hear, or a good freedom fighter. Remember, the quicker you answer the question, the quicker your name will go in the winner list. And for our YouTube and Facebook viewers, please just put your answer in the comment book and you will be recorded. And the correct answer is C, one who likes to hear. And where we have 52% of our participants have answered, has answered the right answer. So thank you, dear all, and to note that the result will be announced at the end of the session. So stay tuned, stay connected to know if you are the winner until the end, right? And now, dearest devotees, our next item on the schedule is we will be hearing Srila Prabhupada speaking. There will be a little video on Srila Prabhupada. Stay with us. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
This is intelligence. This is not escaping. That is going on. The capitalists, they are engaging these rascals, asses, in the factory and enjoying life. That is intelligence. That is not escaping. You know the story of the stag and the jackal? The jackal fell in the well water. He was not unable to come. So one stag came there. What is this? Oh, it is so nice. I am dancing. He said, oh, it is very nice. So he also fell down. And as soon as he fell down, he got on his head and got out. So that is intelligence. They let these rascals work hard and make a nice path for us, and we shall take advantage of it. This is intelligence. And it is called Ajagar Vritti. Ajagar Vritti, Ajagar means the big snake is called Ajagar. So these mouse, they make hole and want to live there. And the comfortable living, in the meantime, the Ajagar comes, he eats that mouse and leaves comfortable. So our is Ajagar Vritti. You work for the whole to live comfortably, but we take possession of the house and live comfortably. Los Angeles, the storekeeper, they ask our man that you do not work, you live so comfortably, and working so hard, we cannot live so comfortably. And as soon as we ask, you also come and join, they will not.
They would do it immediately if they knew how. If they knew how, they would also do it immediately.
No, we are inviting them, come here. Why do they not come? And that is difficult for them, to chant Hare Krishna and dance. It is very big, heavy task for them. They will not come. The most difficult thing is that as soon as they come and they know there is no tea, no liquor, no meat, no cigarette, so many no's. That draftsman said, that one draftsman came to inquire that some of the boys, to escape from the draftsman's call, they join this Hare Krishna movement. So what is the comfort there? They join instead of going to. So when he studied that there is no meat, there is no liquor, there is no smoking, there is no gambling. So he said, it is more difficult. Still they come. It is more difficult than to go and fight. So, how it is wonderful. Actually, for the Kurmis, it is a very difficult job. Even Lord Jetland, he said, it is impossible to do this. Actually, it is impossible. And that is the adoration of Professor Dhira. So these drug-addicted boys, how they have become Krishna conscious. That is his wonderful thing. You can say that we are escaping this horrible condition of life, meat eating, drinking, and intoxication. We are escaping this thing. not escaping happiness. You are escaping happiness.
Thank you so much, Srila Prabhupada, for keeping on uplifting us and for always amazing us, even after so many years, right? So, dear devotees, we are proceeding with our offering reading from the Grand Disciple. And now we have the supreme privilege to welcome His Grace, Madhusudan Vishnu Prabhu, who is the next one on the list. So Madhusudan Prabhu, he got introduced to Bhakti Yoga in the year 2007. And in 2015, he took the decision to dedicate all his time, energy in promoting value-based education for children and adults, right? And he later joined as a brahmachari, as a celibate monk, right? At present, Prabhu is teaching some subject in Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Sadachar courses in BIHE, IBMV, and other institutes. He is also a youth trainer and counselor at ISKCON Mira Road. The least that we can say about it, like in a simple word, we always describe him as being the shadow of His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj. For we understood over the years that if someone can understand his heart, it's no one than Madhusudan Vishnu Prabhu, right? And also, we would like to mention that if the whole program started to take place for the very first one, it's definitely by the grace of Madhusudan Vishnu upon us. So we just pray, Prabhu, for you to keep on being merciful in this way upon us. And we invite you to please read your offering and to keep inspiring us. Thank you so much. The screen is all yours. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for the invitation, and thank you to the organizers of this event for giving me this opportunity. My respectful obeisances unto Maharaj and all the Sangha Vaishnavas. So I'll read my offering to Srila Prabhupada. My dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my most respectful, humble obeisances at your divine lotus feet. In many ways, I am utterly unqualified to glorify you, but seeking the blessings of your divine grace, my all spiritual masters, and all the Vaishnavas present, I am trying to make this offering unto you. May you, Srila Prabhupada, accept it, and may this offering bring pleasure to the Vaishnavas. I am writing this offering to you with 3 subsections: where I was, where I am now, and where I can be. Where I was. As a child born in Hindu family, I believed in God, and I participated in religious rituals and festivities. But I was in deep ignorance. Even theoretically, I did not know the teachings of the Vedic scriptures. In your words, Srila Prabhupada, I was suffering, and I didn't even know that I was suffering. But you came to my life, your devotees came to my life, your Bhagavad Gita as it is came to my life. And with that, actually, life came to my life, a life worth living. Before I read the book on your life, Prabhupada, the messenger of the Supreme Lord, the only person whom I had made my spiritual hero was Hanumanji. In my childhood, I loved watching his devotional exploits in the service of Lord Ramachandra. But when I read about you, I felt that time. And today also I strongly feel that you are the greatest spiritual hero, at least for me. You, through your devotees, took me out of that deep, dark dungeon of struggle for material existence. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Where I am now, I admit and confess, Srila Prabhupada, that I have disappointed you and your sincere followers many times. Your divine grace mercifully gave me so many opportunities to become a more sincere devotee, but I didn't make the best of them. Yet you continue to keep me in this wonderful society of yours. I am far, far away from where you want each one of us to be. But Srila Prabhupada, I am trying. Due to my sinful actions and my offensive mentality, my progress is very slow. But the hope-giving reality is that you and your genuine followers do not give up on fallen souls like me. I am very grateful to you, Srila Prabhupada, for wherever I am at present. It's a wonderful life to be a member of ISKCON society and to follow Krishna consciousness, or try our best to follow it the way you have taught us. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Where I can be. Few years back in Vrindavan Dham, your home, your beloved disciple, His Holiness Loknath Swami Maharaj, spoke beautiful words on the occasion of your disappearance day. Those words are still very clear in my memory. Maharaj said, who before Srila Prabhupada came and told the world, you can eat with Krishna, you can play with Krishna, you can dance with Krishna. Who told this to us with such love and encouragement? It is so true, Srila Prabhupada. What you have given me is a truly matchless gift. I wish that I learned to cherish it better. In 1935, in the historic Vyasa Puja offering to your revered spiritual master, you wrote, had you not come, who had told? Message of Krishna, forceful and bold. Today, we, and the whole world should write to you. Had you not come, oh dear Srila Prabhupada, who had told message of Krishna, forceful and bold? Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. I would like to end this offering with a request to you, Srila Prabhupada. I had read about this incident somewhere. I'm sorry, I don't remember where. Once a devotee, a disciple of yours, wanted to leave this movement. You mercifully called him to meet you and asked him about his difficulty. Later, you very kindly said to him that you have lived so many lives for yourself. Give this one life to Krishna. Just give this one life to Krishna. Then you can do whatever you want to do in the next life. On this auspicious occasion, I have a plea unto you, Srila Prabhupada. Please give me the strength to offer this one life to the service of Hari, Guru, and Vaishnava. I don't know about my future birth, but let me offer this one life to you. That will make my life completely perfect. You are insignificant at the feet of those at your lotus feet, Madhusudan Vishnudas. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes. It seems the Mishnah has network problem. No, it's here. Okay, it's here.
It's Gurudev would like to continue first.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madhusudan Prabhu, for your sincerity, determination, and for being a source of inspiration for us. And on my behalf and all of us here, we sincerely pray to follow on your footsteps, and especially to be able to understand the heart of pure devotees. We are really blessed to have your association. Thank you. I think Dr. Gurudev would join it. Okay, great. Thank you so much, dear devotees. So now we proceed to the next speaker of the day. The next and the last speaker of the day is His Grace Paramagati Prabhu. Right, Paramagati Prabhu has joined ISKCON in 2007, initiated in Sri Mayapur Dham, and now he lives in Mumbai with his family, a daughter and a son. As profession, he worked as a senior software developer in an investment bank, right? And he assists in many services being carried out for His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj. Paramagati Prabhu is one of the main organizers of this online program, and with the determination, the sincerity, and the hard work that he put to get it all together, It's really amazing and it's really heart-touching and inspiring. So thank you so much, Paramagati Prabhu, for embarking all the devotees on this beautiful online program where we get the chance to connect ourselves deeper and deeper into our spiritual family. And we would like to hear your offering, and the screen is all yours now, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you, all the assembled Vaishnavas. Vansha kalpatruvasya kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavnebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for this rarest of the rare Bhakti Sangha which we have received by your mercy. And I would say it is an undeniable fact that we won't have been even civilized human being, leave aside being a Bhakta, if you had not come. Now, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he prays in his song O He Vaishnava Thakura, he prays Amito Kangala Krishna Krishna Boli Dhai Tava Pache Pache. He says, I'm a pauper, hence I'm running after you, shouting Krishna Krishna, because you have Krishna, right? But see your love, Srila Prabhupada, how deep is your love. Instead of us running behind you, you are mercifully running after us, shouting Krishna Krishna, take Krishna, serve Krishna, chant Krishna. You know, you went to the West running behind to make everyone Krishna conscious, even at such an advanced age. Thank you so much, Srila Prabhupada, for doing that. So even when you are running after us, even when you have given this inheritance of your love and compassion to your genuine disciples and grand disciples, they are carrying out this, running after the foolish souls like me. So on this, this movement is based on love. Recently also I heard Srila Giriraj Swami Maharaj that our Krishna conscious philosophy, it's actually simply love masquerading as philosophy. So it's based on love. And then he quoted your letter to Jayatirtha. He said, you cannot survive without my mercy. Srila Prabhupada is writing to Jayatirtha. You cannot survive without my mercy, and I cannot survive without your mercy. It is reciprocal. This mutual dependence is based on love, Krishna consciousness. So thank you so much, Srila Prabhupada. It gives me so much hope that this love has been passed down as inheritance to all your genuine disciples and grand disciples. So on this day, I really have no qualification, neither I have the purity to really glorify you. So instead, I take this opportunity to pray to you. And it is said that the grandfather is more merciful than the father. So what to speak of my great grandfather? So dear Srila Prabhupada, I pray unto you to please give me proper sense and help me to cooperate with my spiritual family members. Please be kind upon this soul and help me be humble enough to accept my faults and shortcomings, but bold enough to move forward in this movement. Please have mercy on this useless soul and help me be worthy enough to be somehow used by your beloved spiritual grandson, my eternal spiritual master. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, your insignificant great grandson, Param Gatidas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Paramagati Prabhu, and kindly keep on engaging us in this type of services, please. And thank you for being an inspiration, for motivating us, for uniting all of us to be able to conduct this program. And may we pick up all those qualities from you. Thank you. Dearest devotees, we have come to our next item will be a video session, which we'll be having now. We invite you to be with us to watch the video.
Physical encounter was also in New York, and that must have been, I guess, 19 71. There was a devotee in New York named Bhakti Jana, sort of unusual devotee, and he was trying to start a program in Harlem. So Prabhupada had given him permission to do this program. So he was trying to gather, some black bodies to help him. And I was just, a bhakta coming, to visit at that point. I was still at the University of Princeton, and on weekends I would come to the temple. So I had connected with him because Prabhupada was coming in. I think there was a Rath Yatra or something. But Prabhupada was going to meet with those devotees who were going to work in the Harlem project. So we all came in for darshan. And somehow I was lucky to sit very close to Srila Prabhupada. And as everyone felt, I felt he was looking at me, very piercing and very intimately. And I remember asking one question that was bothering me. See, when I would come to the temple in New York, I graduated from Princeton by that time, and I was in suits, and I was working as an assistant to the public defender in New Jersey. And I was a little puffed up, I graduated from this good school and had a nice job, and I was quite young. But not many devotees would preach to me. And there was probably many reasons. One, they probably saw I was puffed up. Two, they probably wasn't sure. This guy in his black body, can he really know this, understand this? And because I had been in so many different environments, I was brought up in the inner city area, but I went to very, sophisticated prep schools. And I was, in environments where I was with, senators' sons and things. Then I went to Princeton, around all these environments. So I was very sensitive to situations. So I had this question for Srila Prabhupada. And my first question was, Srila Prabhupada, there's prejudiceness in this movement. Prabhupada looked at me, he says, oh. He said, so someone is thinking you're the body? And if you're disturbed that they're thinking that you're the body and you become disturbed, he says, then you are also nonsense. That was the spirit. So the spirit was, Prabhupada was telling me in so many words, yes, so bodily consciousness is there in so many ways. But if I'm getting so distracted because of that, then that is my nonsense.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Srila Bhakti Swami. Okay, so now we have come to the moment where we will know who is the winner of our quiz, and we will announce it. So for the first question, right? And here we go. For the first question, on the third position is Gora Hari Prabhu. On the second is Nidhi Bharti Mataji. And on the first position is His Grace Madhusudan Vishnu Prabhu. Right? And for question 2, on the third position is Ratnangi Radha Dasi Mataji. Second one is Madhuri Radha Devi Dasi. And on the first position, again, is His Grace Madhusudan Vishnu Prabhu. So a big Haribol for all the devotees who have participated, and yeah, and for the winners, of course. All right. So dearest devotees, to know that we are nearly coming to the end of our second session now. And the next session will be in the afternoon, which will be the third session, as per the schedule advertised on your screen. So in the afternoon or evening, like in the evening India time, 9:10, we will have His Holiness Jayapatak Swami, who will be with us, and Maharaj will be speaking about Srila Prabhupada in Mayapur, right? Followed by the next program is experiencing Srila Prabhupada love and compassion through the mercy of my Guru by Her Grace Vrajalila Devi Dasi Mataji. And then we will have a musical offering, Lover of the Lord, followed by offering by grand disciples of Srila Prabhupada. And then Srila Prabhupada himself will be speaking. And to end the third session this evening, we will have a lecture, a talk by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, and the topic is piercing instruction, right? So stay tuned, stay connected. We will meet again in the evening. And now we would like to, if Gurudev would like to say some concluding word, please.
Hare Krishna. We want to thank all the devotees for participating, and very grateful for all the messages you got from presentations. And we also thank the devotees, all of you who have kindly arranged all these things. We're very thrilled by the offerings from His Grace Madhusudan Vishnu Prabhu, Bhakti Prabhu, so sweet and direct. Praying to Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas that their offerings, their prayers are offered, accepted by the Devan, got the answer. And may they remain always our shelter for eternity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Gurudev, and thank you for connecting us to this rich parampara. And thank you, dearest participants, for we have reached the end of our session, which would have been incomplete and not the same without your participation, without your support, without your attention. So we invite you again to come and join us this evening for another blissful session. And all together, united, we stay under the house that Srila Prabhupada built for us. Until we meet again, have a good rest, and we shall come back in the evening.
Spiritual master to spread the teachings of Sri Chaitanya beyond the borders of India throughout the entire world. As he looked out upon Boston's bleak and dirty skyline, he could understand the difficulty of this sacred mission and felt great compassion for these godless people. Thus, with perfect humility, he composed this historic prayer, praying for the deliverance of all fallen souls. Boro kripa koile Krishna adhamera prati keno andro kripa koile Krishna adhamera prati boro kripa koile Krishna adhamera prati ilagiya nile heta boro ebe gati boro kripa koile Krishna আছে কিছু কার্য তব এই অনুমানে আছে কিছু কার্য তব এই অনুমানে নাহি কেন আনিবে না এই উগ্রস্থানে নাহি কেন আনিবে না এই উগ্রস্থানে বড় কৃপা হইলে কৃষ্ণ অধমের প্রতি कृपा करो प्रभु करी निज बस भगवतेर कथा से